Just real quick, I wanted to talk about how I beat Astral Chain. I've been plugging away at it for a while. It's a game.
You,
For... Yes, Tyler.
I'm just impressed actually that you beat it so quickly. I
Quickly,
I feel like it's been quickly. Sorry, it's like you've been playing. It's been out for like a month.
yeah. It was only like It's an under 20-hour game if you're not
Mhm.
doing too much side stuff.
Yeah,
So I think I went pretty slow. There's a lot of games out, so I was jumping around a lot.
it's very much the pace of like Devil May Cry. I haven't beaten Astral Chain. I've only played like two or three levels of it,
Joe,
but
you ain't ever beating it.
probably not. But like Devil May Cry was very much like I knocked it out in like three, maybe even like 2 or 3 days. And but yeah, it definitely has a. It's not long.
So Astral Chains is a really good game that has some of the most frustrating things I've ever played through. Um, I think is it like a pacing thing? Because so you have these missions in Astral Chain where you're doing detective work, and I think they're really good. But I feel like there should have only been like three or four because they're really long. Um, but there's like a solid 6 to 7 to 8 to maybe nine of them out of the 11 files in the game. So each file is super long. The thing though, maybe I retract my statement if because near the end I started skipping a lot of the side stuff in those. Like I would do a couple of them just because they're good pace breakers. You don't want full action or exploration. I thought it was a good idea to put these sections in. But I would do like one or two side things and then just carry on with my life. If they're all like that, then I guess I kind of defend that stance because then you can just choose to not do a lot of the side stuff. Um, uh, so exploration wise, sometimes the platforming can be really annoying. Like you have this move where you send your legion out and then you can pull yourself to its position. But the thing is, you always go a little bit further than where your legion was. So it's you just end up overshooting it very often, and I swear I'm not bad, but that's just the way it was. So it led to some really frustrating parts. Um, there's like three bosses that are just horrible. One of them in particular is the Arm Legion, where you have to fight them in this area with goo on the ground, and it's like all over the ground. And if you step on the goo, you get stuck on it. It's like this is anti-fun. Um, Sometimes the big bosses just never flinch and like they're just not super fun to fight. But then there's
I,
also some amazing bosses.
Mhm.
Joe, you were gonna say I agree because you fought that second boss where he's like a
Yeah,
big guy who never fucking flinches. He was
yeah.
terrible.
The big thing for me for Astral Chain is so like what made Devil May Cry fun was like your button inputs, and it felt like everything you did was different. Astral Chain has a problem of like there's only one button to attack ever, and it focuses mainly on you like moving your uh, legion around to do things.
So you do unlock moves like Devil May Cry, like holds and back
Uh,
forwards, 360s,
yeah,
and it's
it,
different with each gun, or sorry, with
mm,
each weapon.
yeah. It's just it felt better in Devil May Cry, like in terms of
Yeah.
like it's more of the tactile thing of like it feels good to press multiple buttons rather than just hit the same button over and over and over
Plus,
and over.
Devil May Cry enemies stun a lot. Like they flinch when you hit them, except when
Yeah,
they get like armored moves, which is only really when they're doing certain moves or after you've hit them too much, which I think is super fair.
right.
In here, it's like they flinch very rarely. I feel, especially some enemies, but I still think the combat's really good. It's really novel having to control two characters at once, and I thought they really nailed the combat, especially against small enemies. And
Yeah,
some of the bosses, I think Bradley saw me fight this giant boss, where it's like I wasn't sure if I could do it because I didn't have enough healing, but he saw me like I just had to kind of refigure like how I was tackling it and like dodge certain moves with certain like legions and such. And like there was a cool boss because like if you fall off a platforming section, it would punch you back into the stage, which is just some hype shit.
Yeah, it was a really cool. The there's really cool sequences where I don't know. I just thought it was a really creative way for them to get you back on the stage if you fall off. This little sequence they did, I liked it.
There's a lot of love and care and polish into the game. It's but in the end, I would probably give it like a 3 or a 4. Maybe I'll go back for some of the side content later. But I feel like yeah, there's just a thing where like some of the platforming sections are extremely annoying, or some of the boss fights can be really annoying. The final boss is insane. It is so difficult. I had no healing. I beat him literally like I used every single healing I could. He had very low health. I had very low health. If my attack didn't hit him first while he was winding up for an attack, I would have died and had to restart. But it was an insanely tough boss with very fast moves that you couldn't react to very easily and just big damage. I definitely do recommend it if you like action games. But I feel like if you hit this point where I was, where like the missions are getting too long, I recommend doing what I did, which is kind of skipping some of the side content, which is all good, but there's just a lot of it.
Yeah.
That's the rating.
Mm-hmm.